Please state your full name and how it's going to appear on the ballot.
It's David Ray Abbott, Senior, and on the ballot it'll be David Ray Abbott.
All right. What position are you running for and which party?
I'm a Republican. I'm running for the Clark County Council at large, which that I'm on now.
Okay. You currently hold a seat on the council, and this year you're running for re-election. How long have you been on the council?
I've served last 3 years on the council as a Republican, and back in 2002 to 2010, I served on the council as a Democrat.
Okay. What do you think are your best qualifications for the position?
The best I can say is what I'm doing right now. I'm easy to approach. I live in the eastern part of the county, which the county highway workers, a lot of things, that's most of your county. And I'm, like I say, easy to people asking questions. I'm always there. I go to ball games. I go to the local grocery store. My wife will not go with me anymore because, and I tell her I have to stop. Somebody asks a question, I have to stop. So I think I'm easy to talk to. I always give my phone number out at every article that I put in the paper or anything. I always state my phone number. If you have any questions, call me. And that's the way I like doing business.
What is your primary motivation for rerunning for this position?
Is to keep taxes low and services high. We have the county garage. I believe does a wonderful job. At one time on the county council, we had problems of keeping workers because there was other trucking companies and things paying more. And you can't blame a person if they can make more money to better themselves. The only problem is in the wintertime, you need drivers to clean up the snow. You need people to pave the roads. And so I think with the right pay, we have done some things on paying, and we're keeping more people. They were getting their CDL license, which takes some time, and the county was paying them when they got the CDR, their license. They went to work for somebody else. So we were kind of getting cheated there. So now that from all the times that the people that work for us say, we're happy, we're staying with the county.
What's something you've been proud to accomplish since your time on the council?
Well, I'm on some boards. I'm the president of the cemetery commission, and I think we've made a difference there because a lot of people call me and say, "Hey, I've got a cemetery in my backyard in the woods. What do I do?" Well, you can't move them, and there's trees. Mow around them and trim. And if there's any animals, we usually try to request a fence around it to protect it. But there's several, because in the old days they used to take Aunt Bob and June out back. They would bury them, and they'd get it. Then a lot of them got a stone, but some of them didn't. So we don't know. We don't know where they're at. Until 1978, I believe it was, a farmer could go out in a field and move them to the end of the field. He'd plow his fields. Can't do that now. You're not supposed to. And I get calls. I got a call one time where a lady said that she had a graveyard in the backyard, so we went over there to see what she had in Charlestown. When we stepped around the backyard, she had stepping stones. Guess what the stepping stones were? Yes, the stones. We just asked her if she could move them back over. That's not really, it was her property and everything, but yeah, her stepping stones around to the backyard was gravestones. So we've seen about everything. Cows and the animals out in the cemetery, then we try to get a fence around it. So I think that's something we've really busted loose. We've had help from churches. Boy Scout clubs have, get their badges and their certificates, have called me and said, "Hey, we'd like to do a project. We can get our badge or our certificate if we clean out, but we need to build something." Well, some of them have old rock walls, so we have them build the wall back up. So I think that's one of the good things. And I'm on the Planning and Zoning Board, so I get to see a lot of the subdivisions that's going in, try to make sure that's all right. We're getting ready to have one about the solar panels, and we expect a big meeting for the solar panels. It's going to go in Clark County if accepted. So it's going to be a big meeting. You have people for it and people against it.
Mm-hmm. What is your position on the solar farms?
I grew up in New Washington on a farm, and I like the corn fields. I like the soybean fields. I like to smell the hay when I drive down the road. I know it's going to be a big issue. And I've had some people against it say if they do it right, but they say it in low key. They don't want it. Being on the board, I really can't talk a whole lot about it, but I do enjoy Clark County as a rural area, but I know the subdivisions and it's going up, and I just hope everything works out for the best for everybody. We're going to work on it. March 13th is our next meeting, I believe it is, at the new county building.
Okay.
Everybody's welcome.
What have been some of your biggest challenges in serving on the council so far?
Keeping employees is the main one. Like I said a while ago, in the treasurer's office, in the auditor's office, surveyor, people, they either retire or they're going someplace else for more money, or better insurance has been something too. Now, we worked on the salaries. I believe we've got them where everybody's pretty happy. But we have a lot of people retiring, and that's a lot of knowledge. You've got people that's worked for the county 30, 40 years, and how do you replace that with a new employee, that experience? So some of them say, if I get more money, I'll stay. And most time it happens like the tax time. The treasurer's office is covered up. So we try to make sure that they're all happy, because if he loses somebody right before the tax collection we're in trouble. So we do a lot of that. Like I say, the highway workers, we're cooking. We're cooking now. Everybody's fine. And that's one thing I get to do. See, I own my own business, so I'm always out around, and I always stop and ask the men on the job how they're doing. Everybody's good. Everybody's good. And the Tim Cochran, he's our over the head garage out here. He's over both operations. Says he's got resumes. He used to not have any resumes. He said, and the ones I do, they come in interview, they don't show up the next day. So now he says we have several on file that we can call. So everything's good there. Just pay was the biggest thing we've accomplished. And in the years past, we really didn't have the money. So we're kind of working from behind, but we're catching up.
What are your main goals in filling this position if elected again?
I have to say, keep taxes low, but that's determined by the state, not the county council. But try to use the money right, keep services high. And I'd love to get people involved like we're doing right now. Get people to come down to the courthouse. I love it. But just keep the county road. The county's getting smaller and smaller. The cities are moving out into the county, and it's getting to be a smaller area. So I kind of hate that. Like I said before, I like the county like it is. But, a lot of people are moving to Scott County, but it won't be long. It'll be up there.
Now that certain things have been brought to light here recently in the news concerning the council's lack of oversight on certain aspects of the budget and appropriations, how would you do things differently moving forward? How would you like to see meetings run differently?
Well, the meeting runs like it does, and you've been there. The oversight of the commissary fund has opened our eyes, because I grew up thinking that the sheriff, and he spends that as he sees fit, and the county council is supposed to get 2 reports a year, but we can't act on it. We have we can't control that money unless they change something upstate, the Sheriff's Association, and that's not going to happen. So the sheriff has kind of got his will with that commissary money, and it'd be nice if we could at least see it, and I welcome the sheriff now to maybe try to let us do that to clear some of this up. Because I believe our sheriff has cleaned up a lot of things that people didn't know. And I think it's opened a lot of people's eyes on what's went on, and I cannot believe it. You pray for people.
Are you saying that the council did not always receive the commissary reports as you were supposed to, or that you just...
I've been in it 3 years and I have not seen one. I called another councilman. I said, have you ever seen one? And they said they've seen one since he's been on there, and he's on his 16th year.
Okay.
So that will change. I told the ladies over there, that'll change. I will ask for that. But see, I grew up not knowing any difference. And is that an excuse? I guess we didn't know. There's a lot of things. This has opened people's eyes. But the county council is to fund the departments where they can run to serve the taxpayers. We fund all the office holders in the courthouse, or I won't call it the county building now. Of course, we make sure the sheriff has everything he needs. We want patrolmen out there. That's our job. to go out on anything else where, the commissioners check the contracts and then they come to us for funding. We don't negotiate contracts. That's not our county council's job. You, the taxpayers, vote the county commissioners in to do their job. And their job is to do the contracts and come to the county council for funding. During the meeting, we don't stop the council, and I'm going to. That's one thing I've spoke to one councilman or commissioner. I'm going to ask. I do have the right to say, is that the best we can do? Or is that the best deal? And that will be, in every contract, we have contracts on asphalt, the salt they put on the streets, that's contracts with companies. And with the ambulance service, it's going to be a big one. Make sure that we're getting a good deal. But that as far as the county council goes, we can ask. But we have to fund it because I want an ambulance service to get to your house, her house. And I want the sheriffs to show up at your house if you need him. That's a big job to come to somebody's house. These days, everybody wants you to defund the sheriff's department, or the police. No, you want them to be strong, and when they show up, you want them to take charge. So I want that to continue.
Have you ever voted to increase taxes here in Clark County, and why or why not?
Well, the state, we handle this. If you have a piece of pie, say a piece of pie, and the school gets like 3/4 of the pie. That's your biggest expense in Clark County. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then the county council gets 5% of all the taxes that are collected. We get 5% of the money. People say, Abbott, you've got 1 million homes going up here, and they're all $1 million homes. Kind of exaggerating that, but you should have all kinds of money. No, it's collected, and it goes, to the state, and they turn around and give us 5% of that money. We'd like to get that raised. But your schools, we're building new schools and all that, a lot of money goes there. So
you're saying that you would like the percentage that goes to the council to go up?
It would help.
Okay.
It would help. But right now, we're moving right along. Everything seems like it's good because between 2002 and 2010, we didn't have any money. When we did our budget, I don't know if you attended any of those meetings there, we were negative when we started. So how do you do for raises? Any increase in paving, salt? How do you do that? We had to cut. And most time we'd go to the reserves of the commissioners, the bridge, things like that. We went through and had to cut. And luckily we made it through. Now we're doing fine as long as when we watch our money and the meetings we watch. Now with the judges, that's another issue is judges. If you don't give them what they need to run there, and they're busy, very busy, they mandate it. So you attended a meeting and you've seen how much we were doing. If we turn it down, we end up being in court. And I must say, the threat we have is another judge is not going to go against another judge. So we would spend legal fees to do that and not get anything.
So you're saying that certain appropriations that people come forward with are you don't have a lot of control over?
State we don't. Or the judges we don't. The judges, what they come up there for, and most time right now it's wages trying to get people up. They compare it to Floyd County or Scott County or what they're paying, and we're losing some of those people. I believe we have too many assistant prosecutors or assistants. I think a lot of people, we spend a lot of money on protecting people that's done wrong. So I think that needs to change, but the county council doesn't have a word on that. So
Okay.
I just hope people come and see what we go through at their meeting, trying to supply everything for the county.
Would you be willing to commit to full transparency to your constituents? And full transparency to us would be video recorded or streamed meetings, including administrative meetings or any meetings outside of executive sessions, all minutes, contracts, disbursements, and packets of documents that support upcoming topics to be voted on ahead of time, like a packet of information going out to the constituents that would outline the documents that you will be voting on.
Yeah.
Would you support all those points
I
of
would support it
transparency.
because I think all you have now is when you come in the meeting, you pick up a agenda. That should all, because I've had people say, hey, it's not on the website. So we have to tell the girl, hey, that's got to be on there. There's people looking. So there's a way there. I'm not for sure because I've never used it. But there's a way that you can look all this up. And yes, I welcome cameras, microphones turned up. I mean, and open, because it makes my job easier if I know what people are angry about. And then it helps us during the meeting. I mean, I speak to Mr. John there, and he tells me things that, oh, yeah. Because, see, the public looks at things differently. Well, he may have something simple, and then he may have something that, I need to look into that. Yes. We meet once a month to do all this work. And a lot of times, if it's a rainy day, like I told you, I have a business to run, self-employed. I'll stop in and go through some of the offices and say, how's everything look? Oh, we're doing good, or we're getting ready to start tax collecting, and we're going to be covered, and we're going to be slammed. Because I've went down there before, and we'd have a line down the hall of people trying to pay their taxes or rebel about why they're getting taxed, this and that. So we have a line most time during tax. But no, I'd like to be on the radio if we have to be. We have nothing to hide. I have nothing to hide.
Are you going to ensure the public gets the opportunity to express their desires on a particular agenda item? How will you communicate with those you represent, or how do you communicate?
I want to do that. Sometimes if it's a hot topic, the news or the TV gets in there, and I have been on TV. I've been on radio. I've been on TV. Like I told you a while ago, I've been on Fox. Newspapers. I'm saying they used to come to our meetings. The evening news, which I don't think it's called the evening news anymore. The Courier Journal used to come to our meetings. So the reason I think most people get their information is on the computer. So I guess I need to go back and make sure our auditor tells his secretary everything needs to be on there, and even put something in their tax bill or something. If you have any concerns and you want, anything they can get to a property owner that has questions. And like I say, I give my phone number out every time I pretty well speak, or I'm in an ad or something, or a newspaper. So unless you think of something else, that's the only thing I can do. Is we welcome people down. We meet on the second Monday of the month, 6 o'clock, and our meeting lasts as long as people want to sit there, and we take questions. You can sign a paper to if you want to speak. I don't think we have a time limit at our meetings. You get up there, and I think years ago they did, and if it was good enough, I even spoke up, said, we need to hear this. So, and we did need to hear this. There's times where I welcome, the ladies over there ask me some questions that touches not a nerve, but a nerve to get busy and look that up, or at least I'll know. I hate to be at the JC store and they ask me a question like, I got to get back with you. That's not my job, but I'll get you an answer. Give me your phone number, or here's my card. I'm always giving my cards out. I feel like I'm reachable, day or night, or early in the morning at 7 o'clock. On a Sunday evening, I'm there.
You said that you're employed full-time elsewhere. Do you take the county insurance, and how do you feel about taking county insurance as a less than full-time employee?
Okay, well, I don't have it because my wife works at UPS. She's in security. I have a business, Abbott's Lawn and Fence, and so I have her insurance, so I don't need it. I talked to a county office or employee yesterday on the job, and he works for the county highway department, and he said that they changed the insurance company and it's lacking. And I said, well, I don't have any power over it, but I'll be glad to look and ask what it is, what problem it is. Because sometimes it's medicine, and I know, thank God, my wife works at UPS, and we have decent, not as good as it used to be, but people are paying outrageous for that medication. And mine's $5, $10. I'm on about a few, pills that I have to take for my health. But I feel sorry for people, and I would like to get, I just talked to him yesterday, so that'd be something I'll look at it. Our lady that takes care of our employees, and see if there's anything better we can do, or what is the problem? Why isn't it? We're paying the same, from what I hear. Why a deduction in the coverage? So that's a question for me to ask.
So just to clarify, are you in support of less than full-time employees, like people on the council, people on the school board, the commissioners, less
Taking
than
the
full-time,
insurance?
taking the county health insurance?
Well, they offer it, and I don't have that situation, but insurance is expensive. I think the school board might have the best insurance. From what I heard, it was $1 a year. So really, that question, you want everybody to have insurance, and I'm at a stop road there. I know the commissioners probably do it. I don't know how many office holders have that kind of insurance, but I'm lucky myself, and I'm getting ready to retire. And I'll be 66 I'm 66 and a half in June, and I'm going to not retire, but I'll be able to retire, receive my Social Security, and I'll probably run my business for a while. Because, things are going up. I don't see how people make it. We have a very, and not really getting into it, but a very important election coming up, and that's where I'll stop with that.
Do you feel like you're as familiar with the budgets, additional appropriations, expenditures, policies, and laws related to your position as you should be?
There's a lot. And I'm not going to sit here and say I'm 100% on top of everything that we do, because there's a few things, like in the judges and things like that. It's almost a loss. There's so many avenues down there. The people that have to hire to run the courts, and the salaries, and what goes on down there is a lot. Now, the county highway department, I can pretty well say that. I can talk to the commissioners, but the judges and things, they come to things that, the one thing, and they know it, that really bothers me is travel. We spend a lot of money on travel. Well, I'm told that they have conferences. Okay, but that's the only thing that bothers me, and I have said no to travel. But most everything, and when you hire somebody, you pay a lot of income tax, just several things, a list of things you have to pay to have that employee. So no, I can tell you, I'm not 100% sure all we do. I just try to do my best. And I ask questions. Sometimes those questions ain't right, but I feel like I need to ask.
When subcommittees are created or members are appointed to existing subcommittees, will you commit to making the names of those members available to the public?
Sure, we have a meeting. We do that during the meeting. We'll start at planning and zoning. Who wants that? I like it. So I always say there's the 911, there's a board member. Who else? There's several boards, but we do it in an open meeting, and it's in the records. And we have to be on one. We don't get paid for it. Here we go, and that's what I enjoy. And in the last 8 years I was on there, I was on the planning and zoning every year. I liked it. I knew what was going on. And, and I've seen a lot of people that I know, and some people, the answer didn't, a lot of people buy a little house in the country. And the next thing they know, there's subdivisions going on each side of them because the farmers sold out. What do you say to people? You can't stop somebody from developing their land like that. So if I answered your question, there's one council member on every, and some of them might have two.
Okay. Do you have any relatives, close friends, or business partners serving in a government position, on a government board, or as an elected official?
I have a son that's on the Charlestown trustee board. Relation? I don't have. You're talking about relation, right? I mean, there's a lot of friends. But I don't want to miss anybody. My son, like I say, is on the trustee board. I want to say right now, that's the only relative that I have.
Okay. Now, this is just a direct question. Have you ever worked with Jamie Knoll, under Jamie Knoll, received a promotion under Jamie Knoll, received campaign contributions or any other gifts from Knoll, including government, business, or volunteer positions?
0. And I want to know if anybody can prove me wrong. 0. as you remember, I switched over from Democrat to Republican to run for my county council. Well, I ran for mayor. Yeah, I ran for mayor. Mr. No didn't want me to. So what I did, I voted in the primary the year before. He couldn't tell me no because he's told me before. I wanted to run for county council 2 terms ago. No, it's just a bad idea. So I said, well, he can't turn me down. I've not received any money, any promotions, nothing. 0. No money at all. 0. And I probably spoke to him in a, how you doing, 4 or 5 times. And I've been in there 3 years. So, and I'm not a yes man. And I'm not a group man. I'm by myself. I don't have to hang around with anybody. And I don't. And I just feel like I'm a strong candidate for county council because I'm easy to approach.
Since you brought it up a couple times, what made you switch from Democrat to Republican?
The Democrats didn't want me because I'm not a yes man. And I'm not a group man. And I got tired of the old horses running all the time and not grooming anybody young. I had to fight for the 2 terms that I got. They didn't want me in there. And luckily I had enough people that liked me, voted me in, and I fought for everything. And the Republicans mentioned, well, if they don't appreciate you, come over here. And it wasn't Jamie either. So my grandpa would roll over in his grave. But I've enjoyed it. They've accepted me. I feel like I'm doing a great job. And, you know, the younger has kind of went the Republican ways. They like the Republican ways. The Democrats seem like they didn't want to groom anybody for the future, and it's showing right now. Some of the candidates that I see that's running on the Democrat ticket, their names, you know, who's that? All they cut hair down the street. So I feel sorry for them because, you know, I was even president of the Charlestown Democrat Club, trying to do something, make a change, make a difference. So I did, and I don't regret it. And I only had about 1 or 2 people give me a little heck about it, but I don't care. I can't imagine supporting the Democrat Party now. I'll leave it there.
What has been your current communication with the new GOP leadership? Ron Grooms, Fannie Grubbs Broxton, if any. How would you describe your relationship with the Clark County GOP?
Ron, we used to go to Indianapolis and talk to him because he was the elected official up there. Ron is on our county council now. He was appointed by the precinct committeeman. He took Darcy Schuler's, I think I said it right.
Schiller.
And he's going to be in access. And he's took over, like I say, the GOP leadership. Everybody is loving it because Ron is a straight shooter and will be great in that. And he's already spoke up in our county council meeting, so he's jumped right in. And I like that because usually that's what I do. And now Ron is there, and I feel like I have a partner asking those questions that I usually do. So we welcome him in full arms, and I believe the election's up in March, and next March. I hope he continues.
Do you plan to attend the Clark County Republican Women's Meet the Candidates event on Saturday, March 2nd, next Saturday?
I will be there.
Okay.
But, what's the lady's name that's over it? She says that they're just going to let the state people talk. They've got the building for two hours. And if they let everybody speak, and that's what she told me, because I was trying to prepare what I was going to say. You always get kind of a little nervous, but anymore, I used to sit down when I first started getting elected. My stomach would flip-flop, and I'd get up there, say something, and sit down thinking, God, did I even tell them what I was running for? Or did I even mention my family? Or, I was nervous. But that's what she told me, that they didn't have enough time for everybody to speak. And I said, well, I was going to say, hey, if you got questions and answers, I'll be glad to. I'm going to stick around and call me. Give me a call.
What else do you want voters to know?
Experience helps. I know if they look at the list of people, ask them, Have you been to a county council meeting? How many $1 million budget do they have? The main thing is, you've been to a meeting. I've seen one candidate at our last couple meetings. Do your homework on each candidate and see if they could have been put on there.
How can voters learn more, support your campaign, and get in touch with you?
502-931-4669. That's 502-931-4669. I live in Charlestown on Charlestown-Memphis Road. Very few people come to the house, but usually they see me out. Because when you're self-employed, you're always out doing something, or you'll go to give somebody a bid. Oh, I know you. Yeah, I know you. You was on Fox, or you was on the TV yesterday, and I get to talk to them, and they tell me that some people are, especially now with Mr. Trump running and the thing with our ex-sheriff, I can't go to many places without somebody wanting to talk about something. And how are you connected? I'm not at all.
Are you on social media? Do you have any social media?
Oh yeah, Facebook. I love it. That's my business and my grandson.
All right. Anything else?
Well, I thank you for
CIA, Citizens in Action, Clark County.
Yes, I'm welcome, and I'm hoping I come to more meetings. Then we won't have to have, if people come to the meetings, they'll answer some of their questions just watching us and get an agenda. And I'll try to figure out some way. If I just had a few people, I could make sure you all get what I get. I could transfer my email, because they email me the agenda and the things behind it. I'd be glad to pass it on.
That would be great. We would
That would
really
help
appreciate
me.
that. Yes.
When you get up and speak, say we'd be on the same, and then I know what to ask you if you have a concern. Communication in the media, I love it. My wife says stay off of it, but my political, and I have my grandson on there all the time.
All right. Well, that's all we've got. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.